listen to that? Yeah, that's called hard rock, man. And you're going to find plenty in this film. School of Rock is, damn it, near the perfected comedy. It's I would say it's Jack Black's like baby. Apart from Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, this is the one that everyone always looks back on when they think of Jack Black. They always think of this film, and Kung Fu Panda does not count. Okay, that does not count because it's a good movie, but Jack Black should not be remembered for playing a fat panda. God! Okay, so let's wipe this slate. You know how this thing usually goes. I'm going to point out the good, and then I'm going to point out what I thought was shit about it, or whatever. And this is probably going to be a short review, so, well, let's get started. So what do I find good about this movie? Well, of course, as I just said, Jack Black is in it. You can't go wrong. He's great as Dewey. I mean, you really feel Dewey's love for rock and roll. A love that I can totally relate to. I love rock and roll. I just, like, every moment of my life is just almost always centered around rock and roll, or movies, or any other type of media. I just love that shit. You can really feel his passion. It's like, if you guys ever saw the movie Edward, about Edward D. Wood Jr., who supposedly made the worst sci-fi film ever to be like produced, called Plan 9 from Outer Space. Go check out Plan 9 from Outer Space first, and then see Edward, which is one of Tim Burton's, like, after Batman, one of Tim Burton's first films. It's also one of Johnny Depp's first films. This was before Edward Scissorhands, and it's a great film. So I've got my film recommendation out of the way. So let's keep on it. Basically, if you've seen Edward, you know what I'm talking about. You can, like, Edward D. Wood Jr. in that film has so much passion for film. He just wants to make a good film. No, in fact, screw it. He doesn't want to make a good film, which he would like, probably, but he would really just want to make a film, a major motion picture, and that's all he wants. And this is what Dewey wants. All Dewey wants is to be in a band and be recognized, and to be taken seriously, despite the way he looks and acts, and being a total punk rocker, or, you know, just loving rock music and heavy metal and all that stuff. He just wants people to understand, and I respect him for that. He's such a... God, he's one of the best, like, comedic characters ever. What else am I going to say? Joanne Cusack she's good as the tight ass principal. I could believe everything she was saying. She's mostly used for comedic effect, and it's really funny whenever she misinterprets something that the kid says for something else. For example, there's Jack Black has given, like, a speech about the man, which is what rock and roll stands for. Stands for protesting against the man, basically. The man who's in the White House. He's in London. He's in Paris, and he's dictating over your lives and all that, like, really hate-filled speech. I love that. And then later, the kids, as she passes one of the kids in the hallway, they say, "Hey, Miss Mullins, you the man." How hilarious is that? She's just there and going, "Oh, thank you," and just a thank you, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious because you're laughing along with them, and, like, in the knowledge that you know and they know and she doesn't know, and, you know, it's really funny. And whenever a comedic moment came up, I was always smiling with my shit-eating grin. So, God, look at me. This movie is making me so happy just thinking about it. You can tell I really, really like this one. So, what else? The music throughout is fantastic. If you like classic rock from the late 60s to early 80s, you're really gonna like this movie. In fact, you know what? I dare you, those who like these, right, just have a drinking game, and whoever can guess, seriously, just every time you guess a song that's been played, you take a shot. I can guarantee any hardcore fan of late 60s to early 80s classic rock is going to be dead in the morning. I nearly was. I had to have my fucking stomach pumped. And this was only on Saturday night. I mean, you look at me, look at my face. I look like shit. That's why. um, so yeah, the music's great, and whenever you recognise a song, you go, oh, I know that song. I know that one. What's it called? Oh, yep. That's it, Stay Free by The Clash. It's such a great feeling when you recognise a song in a film and you're just like, yes, I love that fucking song. So that's great. Love that shit. What else is there? There's there's a great variety of characters. I have to say. Just with the band and the rest of the class. I mean, just like the X-Men cartoon, which came out in the early 90s, but I managed to watch in the early 2000s as a kid because it was on Cartoon Network. Um, then if you didn't like one of them, just like in the X-Men cartoon, there's always another you can like. I mean, they give you the fucking choice to like have a favorite. I mean, and who do you think my favorite is? Well, I'll tell you. The punk rocker Freddy. Oh my god, I can't believe how much I love this guy. He's awesome. And the next thing I'll go on to is it has a great and crazy plot line. I mean, just get this premise. Jack Black, who is playing Dewey, is in a band called No Vacancy. Okay, that's the premise, and doesn't sound too bad up to there. So, basically, Dewey is kicked from the band. Aww. But he was great on stage. He had character, he had personality. That's what I was saying. And then he goes back home. He's been drunk the night before. He has a fucking hangover, and stuff we like to see from rock and roll. He gets up and Ned's his best friend and his girlfriend, who's a bitch, by the way. I hate that person. They try and make him pay his rent, and he says that the money's coming, and but at first you think, Dewey, you're an asshole. You should have paid your rent. I like you and all, guy, but you just should have paid the fucking rent. And then the teacher at the school where Dewey eventually starts teaching rock and roll. He starts where he starts teaching rock and roll is the principal calls up, and she asks for Ned Schneebly, and Jack Black gets the call, and and then as soon as he finds out there's lots of money on this, he pretends to be Ned and steals his job. Charming guy, you steal your best friend's job. Whoop-de-fucking-do. And then he goes into class, and after hearing them play music, because for the first couple of days he's just like, I really don't want to be here. At least I'm getting fucking paid to look after these little shits all around here. And it's really funny how he's interacting. And then of course, he gives the man speech. I mean, everyone knows about the man. And the man's destroying the ozone. The man is in the White House. Miss Mullins, out there, she's the man. She's the man. Such a quotable movie. And basically, after he discovers, after being a total bumhole to them, he actually decides to go up and fucking teach them something, which is, of course, rock and roll. I mean, it's Jack Black. Who else is going to teach rock and roll to kids? Janis Joplin. Oh, she's dead. Well, who else is going to teach fucking rock and roll to kids? Jonas Brothers? Nah, the Jonas Brothers won't ever teach anyone rock and roll. I mean, whenever you go to Jonas Brothers Kid, it's just like babysitting anyway, and you're babysitting a fucking band. I mean, it's like, what? So, anyway, with my Jonas Brothers joke out the way, um, yeah, it's a great and crazy plot line. And the best thing about it, though it's comedy and it's got music in it, it also finds time to deal with issues such as self-confidence and prejudice that you often find in school. I mean, for example, the little Asian kid, the Lawrence, who can play awesome, like, he's just with the piano. It's like, wow, you're awesome, man. And then basically he says, I'm not cool enough, look at me, I got fucking glasses on. And he's speaking in like a stereotypical Asian accent as well, and he's just like, I'm not cool enough. And you know, like really fast. And some of the stuff this kid comes out with is actually pretty funny. So yeah, and then he just said that basically, Jude just goes up to him and says, "But look, what were you doing earlier was so great and so fantastic. Why the fuck do you care?" Basically, and it's really touching to see him finally interacting with these kids and properly, and he gets to know them. And there's also the case of the lead singer, who 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 has self-confidence issues, and she finds prejudice, and because, well, basically she's a large lady, and she's just like, I can't be a singer. I mean, I just look at me, I look like shit. And then Jack Black, probably in the best pop cultural reference I've ever seen, is he just says, well, girl, look at Aretha Franklin. The girl's black, by the way. And look at Aretha Franklin, and she's a large lady, isn't she? And he says she's a large lady. And then he just says, but when she gets out on stage, and as soon as she opens up that magical voice of her, oh, mama! Well, that's how I would have done it. But he just says, as soon as she gets up stage and sings, everyone wants to go partying with Aretha. And it's true, we all want to party with Aretha now, because she's such a staple of modern pop culture that you want to go party with her. You want to hear her sing. And I wanted to hear the lead sing so much, and you know, it's such a great one. It's just such a great story. And despite this, it never loses its funny tone. It's a fucking like Jack Black movie. You're always gonna find some sort of something for you in there. It's always gonna be there. His eyes are always bugging out, and he's always making the and with the guitar. And oh, I'm speaking too fast now. Must calm down before I have heart attack. Okay, I'm good. So, yeah, comedy is just hilarious. And seriously, when I first watched this film as a kid, I didn't understand all the jokes because there's like phallic symbols, if you get what I mean. There's adult humor. And now, as a near adult, I'm 17 years old, heading on 18 next year, I can understand the humor and I can appreciate how fucking hilarious it is. It's just, oh my god, some of the best writing from 2003, I think. And probably one of the best. This is probably one of the best comedies from the early 2000s. But I should probably save that for later in my final verdict. And there's plenty of rewatch value for everything in it, basically. Oh, and did you know Miranda Cosgrove's in this movie? Yeah, Miranda fucking Cosgrove's in this movie. She's the bratty little bitch, and like the little one, you know, the manager one. She's a bratty little bitch.